The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
Good morning. All eyes on the new Bimini and Berry Island seat, potential showdown. Who will get the nominations? U.S. Embassy warning of visa scams. And an arrest warrant issued for a social media commentator. It's all straight ahead this morning. I'm Dwight Strachan, and this is Morning Blend.
It's a new day. It's the start of a new way. Don't you know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning again, Bahamas. It is Friday, January 9th, 2026. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Again, I'm Dwight Strachan. In a moment, Farrell Goff will be joining us. Also this morning in our Safe and Sound series, we are talking about safety and security, the outlook for 2026. That's all straight ahead, but first, it's time for the overnight, the latest breaking news from while you're sleeping, and the top national and international headlines this morning. In the overnight, Minister of National Security Wayne Monroe says his ministry is looking into claims from the Police Staff Association that the dependents of some of its members have been denied coverage for medical services. In a memo sent out on Wednesday, PSA Executive Chairman Ricardo Walks said this was in spite of those members and dependents having been on an insurance plan prior to 2023, when the government decided to restrict coverage for those joining the plan to exclude dependents. He said affected individuals include spouses and children who were previously accepted into the insurance plan. Monroe said yesterday that his ministry was not made aware of the issue or the concerns of those officers until the PSA released the memo. He says, Walks claims that he was advised in a recent meeting with members of Kalina, the insurance company, which has the policy that the government owes the company roughly $100 million, and that warnings have been issued over potential ramifications of continued non-payment. While Kalina said yesterday it was preparing a response to the claims, nothing was received up to press time. A magistrate issuing an arrest warrant for social media commentator Brittany Harris and ordering her suretors to pay her $5,000 bail after she failed to appear in court. Harris and her sureties were summoned to appear before Assistant Chief Magistrate Cara Turnquest DeVoe after the court learned that she had breached her bail conditions. Harris was granted bail last month after she was arraigned on 2 counts of intentional libel concerning remarks she made about the Minister of Energy and Transport JoBeth Colby Davis and defense lawyer Bjorn Ferguson. Harris pleaded not guilty and was granted bail on the condition that she report to police in Hamilton, Canada, and wear an ankle bracelet. The matter was adjourned to February 24th for trial, but Harris has reportedly failed to satisfy either condition since her suretors did not meet their duty to ensure that Harris appeared in court or complied with her bail terms. They were made to pay the bail sum. Extradition proceedings against accused human smuggler Van Rick Smith have been adjourned to February 25th. The 35-year-old Smith is accused of manslaughter in the deaths of 5 migrants who died when the boat they were on capsized during a January 2022 smuggling venture in Florida. Smith was arrested in March 2024 following an extradition request from Florida prosecutors, and he remains on remand at the Bahamas Department of Correctional Services. The proceedings were stalled last year after Smith was appointed a Florida-based lawyer to work out the terms of a potential plea deal with federal prosecutors. Smith said that he had last heard from his U.S. lawyer, Larry Donald Murrell, in November. However, he did not provide an update on the status of the negotiations. Some Bimini residents applauding the recommendation by the constituency's commission to split Bimini and West Grand Bahama to create new Bimini and the Berry Islands constituency, the new one. Residents noted that both Bimini and the Berry Islands were once the same constituency years ago. The new constituency is estimated to have about 2,255 registered voters. Meanwhile, PLP Senator Randy Roll and Carlton Bowleg, former member of parliament, who was ratified by the FNM last year for what was then the North Andros and the Berry Island seat, are both reportedly seeking the nomination for the new constituency. When contacted yesterday, Bowleg was evasive when asked if he wanted to be nominated for the seat. But sources in the party say Bowleg has made it known that he favors Bimini and the Berry Islands. The PLP has not yet announced a candidate, but a source in the party said Roll is the preferred candidate for the new Family Island seat. The United States Embassy in Nassau yesterday cautioning over scams and misinformation regarding visa fees and applications. It noted that fees for visitor visa applications remain unchanged. It said that fake news about visa fees has been spreading on social media. The current fee for a B1, B2 U.S. visitor visa application is $185. Statement says that the public should not be fooled by third parties who say the cost is higher. A flyer circulating on social media in recent weeks claimed significant increases to visa application fees would come into effect as of January 1st. The embassy says everyone should refer to official U.S. government websites for accurate and current information about U.S. visas and the application process. It also reminded applicants of rules when visiting the U.S. Embassy in Nassau. Overseas, Iran's supreme leader is signaling Friday that security forces would crack down on protesters after they screamed from windows and marched through the streets overnight, directly challenging U.S. President Donald Trump's pledge to support those peacefully demonstrating. Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei dismissing Trump as having hands, quote, stained with the blood of Iranians, as supporters shouted, "Death to America," in footage aired by Iranian state television. State media later repeatedly referred to demonstrators as terrorists, setting the stage for a violent crackdown like those that have followed other nationwide protests in recent years. Protesters are, quote, ruining their own streets in order to please the President of the United States, according to Khamenei. He was speaking to a crowd at his compound in Tehran. He went on to say, quote, because he said that he would come to their aid, he should pay attention to the state of his own country instead. There was no immediate response from Washington, though Trump has repeated his pledge to strike Iran if protesters are killed, a threat that's taken on greater significance after the U.S. military raid seized Venezuela's Nicolas Maduro. In sports, Bahamian collegiate basketball player Frederick King and the Murray State University Racers extending their winning streak to 10 with their latest 79-69 victory on the road over the University of Evansville Purple Aces. Wednesday in Evansville, the Murray State Racers have been on a roll as of late, earning their 10th straight victory to improve to a 14-3 win-loss record for the 2025-26 NCAA Division I basketball season. In addition, the team owns an unblemished 6-0 record in the conference play, good for top spot in the Missouri Valley Conference. King, a native of Mangrove Key, making several key contributions to the Racers for their most recent triumph. He finished the contest with 9 points, 7 rebounds, and 2 blocks in 30 minutes of action. Naming junior golfers Madison Carroll and DeAndre Poitier teaming up with professional golfer Drew Nesbitt, rising to the occasion in the 2026 Bahamas Golf Classic Junior Pro-Am Tournament hosted at the Ocean Club on Paradise Island on Thursday. A total of 10 junior golfers, including Carroll, Poitier, and a whole lot of others, that whole list in the Guardian Sports section today, teaming up with 5 professional golfers to compete in the 4-hole event. And professional golf returns to Paradise next week as the Corn Ferry Tour opens its 2026 campaign, starting with the Bahamas Golf Classic at Ocean Club. That's January 11th through 14th. That's going to be televised worldwide by the Golf Channel with more than 12 hours of live programming. From the NFL, Miami Dolphins fans, Mike McDaniel has run out of luster in Miami. The Dolphins fired the dry-witted wonder kid coach, who they once viewed as the future of the franchise, ending his 4-year tenure Thursday that was defined by soaring and unfulfilled expectations. But McDaniel fell out of favor following a 7-10 season in which Miami missed the playoffs for a second straight year. Dolphins owner Stephen Ross saying in a statement, quote, "After careful evaluation and extensive discussion since the season ended, I've made the decision that our organization is in need of comprehensive change. I informed Mike McDaniel that he has been relieved of his duties as head coach." The Dolphins went 35-33 under McDaniel, reaching the playoffs in his first 2 seasons, but losing in the first round each time, Miami missing the postseason in 2024 after being eliminated by the Jets in the regular season finale. This year, their postseason hopes ended with a loss to Pittsburgh in Week 15 and ensuring that their 25-year playoff win drought would continue. Well, perhaps Miami might do better if they got the college Hurricanes to play for them. Miami's return to relevance, the University of Miami, that is, has been filled with ups and downs and twists and turns. But through it all, they kept chugging along straight into the national championship game. They're heading there after their win last night. Carson Beck scrambled for a 3-yard touchdown with 18 seconds left. And the University of Miami will head back home for a shot at its first national title since 2001 after beating Mississippi 31-27 in an exhilarating college football playoff semifinal at the Fiesta Bowl last night. 10th-ranked Hurricanes didn't play in the Atlantic Coast Conference title game and were a somewhat controversial college football championship pick inside of South Florida. Miami held Texas A&M and reigning national champion Ohio State to a combined 17 points to reach the CFP semifinals. Then the Hurricanes shut down the high-scoring Rebels for 3 quarters in the desert before pulling it out in a wild 4th. They're still celebrating in Miami after that win last night. That's sports, and that's the overnight. Time for your first look at weather. Weather brought to you by Star General. High pressure center to the northeast of the islands extends a surface ridge across the country, contributing to moderate to fresh breezes, warm temperatures, and generally settled conditions, despite a few light passing showers possible along the breeze. For today, there is still a light to moderate risk of rip currents along eastern and Atlantic coastlines. For For the central and southeast Bahamas mainly today. Beachgoers and swimmers are urged to exercise caution in those areas. Forecast for today, for the extreme northern islands, partly sunny, becoming mainly fair tonight. For the rest of the northwest Bahamas and the central islands, we're looking at a mix of sun and clouds today, becoming mainly fair tonight. And variably cloudy conditions becoming mainly fair at night for the southeast Bahamas. Rain chances at about 10 to 15% for most areas, up to 20% for the southeastern islands. Winds east to southeast at 10 to 15 knots with slightly higher gusts for the extreme northern islands, easterly at 15 knots and gusty at times for the rest of the northwest Bahamas, northeast to east at 15 to 20 knots for the central and southeast Bahamas, higher gusts at times for the southeastern islands. Temperatures today, we're looking at highs getting up to around 84 Fahrenheit, 29 Celsius, definitely getting warmer. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 71, 72 Fahrenheit, 22 Celsius. But a cold front is coming. We'll tell you about that in your extended outlook coming up in just a bit. This weather check brought to you by Star General Insurance, made simple.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up.
You are listening to Morning Blend. When we come back, we are discussing the day's top stories right here on your home for fresh news and smart talk all day. Guardian Radio 96.9.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Southwest Plaza has so many stores, I've been trying to find a sensible way to list them all. There's CBS Bahamas, the Ashai Institute, BENC Snack World, Bamboo Shack Bahamas, there the Athlete's Foot and BTC, Games and More, John Bull Fine Threads, Alive, Bahari, Dairy Queen, 700 Wines and Spirits, Sandy's Clocks and Island Lock, Starbucks and Lowe's Pharmacy, plus Marco's Pizza and Lorraine. Southwest Plaza, what a wide array of stores. Southwest Plaza, stop by today and explore.
Looking for a school that's international, proudly Bahamian, and truly invested in your child's future? Bring the kids and join us at the St. Andrews International School Open House on Saturday, January 17th at 11 a.m. Meet our passionate teachers, tour our campus, and experience a vibrant, welcoming community where students are supported, challenged, and inspired to lead with confidence. Come see the St. Andrews difference for yourself. Visit standrewsbahamas.com or call 677-7800. St. Andrews International School, ethics and excellence.
At Cleveland Clinic, care is everything. So when your primary purpose is to care for the world, you'd start with your community until you're accessible anywhere. You make complexities your specialties and put compassion before anything else, all to redefine what's possible. For everyone, everywhere. For every care in the world. Cleveland Clinic.
Look to elevate your gadget game or a tech trouble simply slowing you down? Escape to a world of innovation at Custom Computers, your go-to store for the latest cutting-edge tech. Whether you need to upgrade your life with the best from Apple and Windows or your device needs a little TLC, the Custom Computers Know-How Store is the destination for unbeatable expertise and quality repairs. With 2 convenient locations, there's a Custom Computers near you on Patton Street in Palmdale and Cades Village, or call 396-1100.
Planning for retirement can be overwhelming, but with CFAL, it doesn't have to be. We offer tailor-made individual, group, and pension solutions that take the guesswork out of retirement planning. Whether it's for you or your company, don't leave your future to chance and let the trusted hands of CFAL's experts guide you toward peace of mind and financial stability. Low upfront costs and affordable monthly payments make it easy for you to build wealth so you can live well. Visit us at cfal.com to start on your path toward financial freedom. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
No one likes a fender bender.
Oh, man.
From a little scratch to a full mashup, NUA Insurance has got you covered with auto insurance tailored to fit your needs and budget. For affordable rates with free on-site accident assistance, visit us online or in branch and just ask us. NUA Insurance. Ask us because we've got you covered.
Mom, the Christmas cookies are ready. We leave them right here under the tree for
Santa or for CIBC Caribbean. 'Tis the season for dreams to come true. Whether it's a house, land, vehicle, or upgrading your home, CIBC Caribbean can support your dreams with the financing you need. Enjoy incredible cashback deals with mortgages and land loans. Plus, your approved loan gives you a chance to win up to US $5,000. Apply now at www.cibccaribbean.com/sweeten the season. Terms and conditions apply.
For fast, reliable, and impactful printing services, look no further. Let Printmasters bring your masterpiece to life. We stand by our quality products that is second to none. Our affordable pricing and friendly, efficient staff makes Printmasters the ultimate choice for all your printing needs. We can deliver any type of printing services, from banners to booklets to business cards. You name it, we can print it.
Let Printmasters bring your masterpiece to life.
Located in the Nassau Guardian Building, telephone 302-2361.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. Don't you know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. 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 Wake up, wake up.
We are back with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9, streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at Morning Blend 969 or Facebook.com/Morning Blend 969. Text us 422-4796. You can tweet us, you can Facebook us, you can text us 422-4796 on the Guardian Radio text line powered by BTC. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. Joining me on this Friday morning, Farrell Goff, Happy New Year. Good morning.
Happy New Year, Dwight. Good morning. Good morning, Bahamas. Always a pleasure to be here.
Great to have you with us. Hope 2026 is treating you well so far.
Fingers crossed. I hope the same for all of you out there as well.
Wonderful stuff. Wonderful stuff. Coming up this morning in our Safe and Sound series in Morning Blend Business, we are talking about the safety and security outlook 2026 after reviewing 2025. What can we expect this year? What are going to be the issues we're going to be dealing with in terms of that this year with preventative measures? Gamal Neary is going to be here with that a little bit later in the show. But right now, there is quite a bit to talk about in the news. In the news, Couple interesting stories. Okay, so the U.S. Embassy's warning of visa scams. In fact, a caller brought this up a few days ago, but pay attention only to trusted sites and sources for news. Don't listen to the rumors out there and fake sites just trying to work people into a frenzy about things. But our Rachel Scott writing about this. So the United States Embassy in Nassau yesterday cautioned over scams and misinformation regarding visa fees and applications. It noted that fees for visitor visa applications remain unchanged. So, according to the statement that was issued yesterday from U.S. Embassy Nassau Consular Chief Karina Kanan, quote, fake news about visa fees has been spreading on social media. The current fee for B1, B2 U.S. visitor visa application is $185. The public should not be fooled by third parties who say the cost is higher. So a flyer circulated on social media in recent weeks claimed significant increases to visa application fees would come into effect on January 1st. So Kanan said in the statement, quote, we're concerned that for-profit actors seek to take advantage of confusion around visas when the application process is actually straightforward and less than $200 for a visitor visa application. The embassy said to refer to official U.S. government websites for accurate and current information about U.S. visas and the application process. It also reminded applicants of rules when visiting the U.S. Embassy in Nassau, saying, quote, visitors to the U.S. Embassy in Nassau at 235 Shirley Street may not bring cell phones and other electronics, as well as any item containing a camera or chip, and cosmetics such as perfume through the security checkpoint. The embassy encourages applicants to leave those materials at home to avoid paying storage fees to a third-party vendor. Okay. So everybody got that. It's $185. Still did not go up and stop spreading the lies. And report the people who are saying those things. They're up to something, more than likely.
Dwight, I have a question, and I hope I don't get completely attacked. I'm just I'm out of the loop in this regard. Have we transitioned to the new embassy location as yet, or kind of for local services, or do we still go to the old one by McDonald's?
Oh, it's been definitely the new one now.
The new one, okay.
Yeah.
And someone asked me that question yesterday, and I was like, interesting.
Yeah, we had that happened. They had a big thing about it last year. Mm-hmm.
Okay, excellent. Yeah. Have you visited the new embassy as yet?
I've been there when they had a soft opening. I haven't had to go there for any services, but I've been there and I had a tour, and it's beautiful. It's really very nice. Very nice.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Do you know if are there individual booths for Bahamians when they go for their visa applications, or is it still kind of done out in the open?
I don't know. I don't know what you mean. Like if you were going to be seen individually? Oh, I'm not sure. I'm not too sure.
Like individual kind of some type of privacy when you're interviewed for your visa application. Before it was done kind of in the open with the old embassy, and that might have just been a matter of space more than anything else, right? But I'm always been curious about that. It was an interesting process before.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't take too long, right? The interview.
It's not a matter of taking long. It's just a matter of everything being done out in the open.
Guess you got nothing to hide, right? I don't know. So if everybody will see that, right? You will be able to tell whether you overreacted to a question or if you were unfairly treated.
And all of your personal information shared with everybody in the room. Absolutely. Always a wonderful feeling.
Oh boy.
Yeah, and I was just curious about that. I didn't even know we started going there, much less gone inside for anything recently.
Oh, this texter's sending us a message. Says it's still open. Everyone can hear the other conversations. Just went this week. That might be for the best. I don't know, But anyway, the pros and cons. I'm sure.
Yeah. All right.
But again, go to their website if you want real information about what's going on, the costs, all the stuff that you need to do and not do.
Yeah, and that's important in this day and age we're living in, Dwight. There's going to be so much information, so easy to mislead folks, even very official looking messages and organizations now. You have to, as a individual, you have to know how to do as much as possible, your due diligence in this crazy information age that we exist in, man. You gotta start with the source whenever you question anything. Try your best to visit the actual official websites and try to fact check information nowadays because it's getting wild, right?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. It seems
social media itself is so much AI generated stuff. I mean, before it was kind of people scamming or creating fake information. Now it's AI creating information that looks as real as anything else, and it's like scratching your head: is this real? Is it not? Everything has to be questioned now.
Oh yes, and it just seems like some people though have all the untrustworthy sites saved, right, as favorited on all their devices, so they get their information first, and find it very difficult to be able to pull up a legitimate source for verification of anything. And I don't know what that's about, but
wait, tell me what you mean. I don't understand. Right? Sorry.
So the first thing you'll go to would be the sites that often spread the misinformation, but you won't know how do I find the U.S. Embassy online? Oh my gosh!
I understand. How do you, all of a sudden you're you're handicapped, right?
I don't know how to find the NASA Guardian as opposed to somewhere 242 in the name. You know what I mean? How do you?
In the meantime, let me just spread this
misinformation. Because this is right here, the first thing I pull up when I go on social media. This is what I see. I don't understand it, but oh well.
And sharing sensational information has become an obsession. Now. I mean, I think it always has been human nature, and just spreading information and sharing information has been a thing probably from we were in the wilderness, but social media just makes it so easy to just press forward and share, and it's gone.
But you do notice that people don't seem to spread the good news though, right? They don't. They will go for the happy story. It'll always be the craziest thing.
And do you see many happy stories in the front page of most international newspapers? I don't want to focus locally. I'm just saying.
Well, here's the thing.
Even true.
Now, see, you said something very key. You said something very key. Front page, because people are claiming they don't read newspapers anymore, right? So you go on the sites. What's the front page? Everything's there. So the stories are there. They are there, whether it's on the front page or page 4. But you can find them.
We know it sells in newspapers, and this is nothing new.
That's fine. The stories are there.
Been around a long time, But yeah, it's just how we're wired. Like, we're drawn to sensation, and sensation is usually there's some twist to sensation, right? The person that fed the hungry folks yesterday, that's interesting. He's a nice guy. Opposed to the person that I don't know that tried to smuggle people into the country or something. All of a sudden, what? Who that is? What are you doing? I always knew he was like that. So
exactly, it's something else.
Yeah, it's interesting. We need to be very aware of it as we move through the space of because it's too easy. It's too easy to nowadays.
Yeah, definitely. This texter is asking I wonder how many people have been scammed so far by these fake texts. Probably quite a few.
So what is it? Is people providing service for U.S. embassy or is it the visitor visa applications? Are those the persons that are possibly leading this or trying to lead it? Some of those folks, and so you pay them for them to then complete the application for you?
It's possible. I don't know, but it sounds like it might be some of them, and maybe just people just trying to get people in fear. I'm not sure.
Yeah, because I imagine the embassy is not going to charge you more than what their official charges are. Period. Once you get to that point in the process, right?
These are good questions. These are very good questions. Yeah. People ask me lots of questions I can't answer. You need to ask the U.S. Embassy these questions, texters.
And I know there's some services out there that will, quote unquote, take the headache and hassle away from you, and you pay them, and they complete the process for you. A bad thing for people who may be intimidated or maybe not tech savvy and don't want to deal with the website and the application themselves. So you pay a third party to do it for you. I don't know if that's where the possible hike for some unscrupulous folks in that space.
Yeah, yeah. Wow. Speaking of social media and unscrupulous, this is an interesting story. People talk about this person a lot. A magistrate on Thursday issuing a warrant, an arrest warrant, for social media commentator Brittany Harris, and ordered her suretors to pay the $5,000 bail after she failed to appear in court. Harris and her sureties were summoned to appear before Assistant Chief Magistrate at Cara Turnquest DeVoe after the court learned that she had breached her bail conditions. Harris was granted bail last month after she was arraigned on 2 counts of intentional libel concerning remarks she made about the Minister of Transport, JoBeth Colby Davis, and defense lawyer Bjorn Ferguson. Harris pleaded not guilty and was granted bail on the condition that she report to police in Hamilton, Canada, and wear an ankle bracelet. The matter was adjourned to February 24th for trial, but Harris has reportedly failed to satisfy either condition. Since her suretors did not meet their duty to ensure that Harris appeared in court or comply with her bail terms, they were made to pay the bail sum. Wow. So while that's happening, while she's not appearing in court, she's been speaking to the Canadian media, speaking to a newspaper or a media house in Hamilton, and speaking about her horrible time in the Bahamas. They ran a story this week. This Hamilton woman went to the Bahamas for a funeral. She ended up being arrested on libel charges. Of course, she outlined her horrific time here and how badly she's being treated. Okay. Very, very interesting. Interesting stuff there. But, if you post bail for people and they breach the bail conditions, you will be made to pay. Keep that in mind when folks come asking you to post bail. It's done.
You become liable for them.
Wow. Yeah. All right. So let's get your reaction to this, what we've been talking about so far, folks, before we move on. 323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259. Call us toll free. 242-300-5720. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. I don't want to talk about this too much, but I just want to say one thing. I'm very amazed at the number of people who move away from here and seem to spend most of their time on social media talking about people who live here. Does that make any sense to you, Farrell? You gotten out of the hellhole, you say, and you are almost daily posting videos about people that I don't really know you know. I'm not sure if you do know them, but you are doing that. What's that about? Can you make it make sense to me?
It depends if you've had a traumatic experience here, and just by living here, and you get out, you tend to. Sometimes you can get caught up in constantly giving way too much energy. By the way, way too much energy and focus to the thing that traumatized you, right? So, it's not a healthy time spent, right? You should be focusing on new beginnings and flourishing and where you have settled and has with a much more comfortable and safe and authentic life, right? So that's really where your energy should be. But a lot of times people are doing this for attention, Dwight. These quote unquote, social media personalities or influencers, and a lot of it has to do with just building up their followers and creating content that's click worthy and and their likes and that sort of stuff. So I don't know if it's really that genuine, right?
Oh, it's certainly not genuine. And it seems like many of them are paid operatives. But we do have to take some responsibility as a populace for feeding life into them too, right? Following them and waiting for their every video. Like, gotta go. Ooh, we
That's
dropped a
what we
new
do.
one.
That's the era. That's the era that we exist in. Right?
So sad.
It's that sensationalism. We're addicted to it. So we keep them going, right?
Yeah.
You're absolutely correct. We have a tremendous amount of responsibility. If we stop tuning in, it kind of goes away on its own.
Absolutely. And remember that, because someone apparently can just easily pay them to talk about you.
Oh, of
And
course.
then
That's a thing.
Right?
100%.
My gosh. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Morning, Dwight. How you doing?
Doing well. Good morning.
Good morning to your guests. Good morning to my blessed Bahamas and say love.
Good
Dwight,
morning.
I really don't want to comment, but I just want to comment on this matter over 2 or 3 minutes. And what our Constitution tell us, what we as citizens entitled to.
A whole lot of things.
Freedom of speech, freedom of movement, and freedom of association, right?
Mm.
And I know the young lady quite well. Her family's like over the uncles and aunts, her mother, a little older than them. But see, let me tell you something. A lot of other people, and see, that's why I don't put anybody in my chat groups. Not only her, and I want her long time. I want her mother long time. Speaking of chat group, when getting personal and saying things, I don't disrespect people. I don't call people trolls because God said He created man in His image. But if we had to come with all these bunch of dumbness and got these bunch of so-called educated people saying, calling people troll and all kind of stupidness, don't make no sense. See, Dwight, the world watching the Bahamas, This is the first time we had an ambassador in the Bahamas in over 15, 20 years. Am I right or wrong?
U.S. ambassador, okay.
It's a reason why Donald Trump sent the ambassador in. Some pressure is on a lot of politicians, a lot of judges, a lot of lawyers in this country. See, Dwight, I know something. I just don't like saying things. Like I keep telling you, our country is rich, bad governance on both the PLPs and the FNM. If I were the Prime Minister or somebody with a little authority, I would amend a lot of things. The politician's job is supposed to amend the loopholes and all the laws. Like somebody, like 52 and those guys say, antiquated legislators. Every country in the world is a lesson like country. So if you don't believe me, you ride on East Street, Market Street, Baintown, and see how much our people ain't doing well. Not because they don't want work and they don't do things. The system designed for only certain facts and people make money in this country. Example, lawyers, doctors, financial services people, etc. But what can happen in short order, and I hope it don't happen, right? The little independent say, if we don't fight this country, we don't deserve it. People come to this country legally, break all the laws. Nothing. Now, I watched it, I think it's the chief superintendent of the police first week of this year, saying all the fees of the car and the insurance. No problem with that. But if people come to the country legally, can you charge them $20,000, $30,000 to put pressure on them, let them know they come to the country legally? Our law is supposed to be upheld. Time to take my call, my brother, Dwight.
Okay, interesting points. Thank you very much. Well, Farrell, any comments before we move on?
Yeah, no. A lot of our focus is typically on outsiders, but we have a lot of work to do inside, right? Locally, as citizens, legal citizens of the country. I think that's where the real benefit is going to be gained. While, of course, we always focus on border protection and illegal immigration, but that's not the real focus. Is internally. That's where we're going to really get the most benefit buying for our buck in this country. We got a lot of work to do internally.
All law breaking needs to be addressed, right? No matter where you're from, what you look like, if you're breaking laws, it's a problem. It's a problem. Okay. Speaking of laws, the big headline in the Tribune today, time doubled due to brutality of attack. Listen to this case. So a man who shot a woman in her vagina, beat her with a firearm and threatened to kill her and her family has had his prison sentence more than doubled after the Court of Appeal ruled that the original punishment grossly understated the brutality of the crime. The Court of Appeal increased the sentence of Mike Phileas from 10 to 25 years imprisonment, finding that the trial judge placed excessive weight on his personal circumstances and failed to properly account for the seriousness of a deliberate firearm attack that left the victim permanently injured. Phileas was convicted of the attempted murder of Jacqueline Similian, who was shot outside her home in August 2021 and now lives with life-altering injuries. Around 6 a.m. on August 25th, 2021, Similian was at her residence with her boyfriend when their vehicle alarm sounded. As they went outside to investigate, several men were observed in their yard. Similian recognized one of the men as Phileas, whom she had known for many years and who had an ongoing feud with her boyfriend. As she followed the men in an attempt to obtain their vehicle license plate number, she was set upon by another man who punched her repeatedly, Phileas then produced a firearm and shot Semillian in the left pelvic area, with the bullet exiting through her vaginal area, causing her to fall to the ground. While she lay injured, he struck her with a weapon and attempted to fire a second shot, but the firearm jammed. The court was told that Phileas then threatened to kill Semillian and her family if the matter was reported, before fleeing the scene and leaving her bleeding in the roadway. Semillian was hospitalized for 19 days and now requires a urostomy bag to assist the result of the injuries sustained. Following his conviction, Phileas was sentenced by the trial judge to 10 years in prison, less the time spent on remand. In arriving at that sentence, the judge relied heavily on a probation report and concluded that mitigating factors outweighed aggravating ones. The judge described Phileas as a young man, a contributing member of society, and ordinarily of good standing, citing his employment history, family ties, and church contributions. Despite acknowledging the heinous nature of the offense and the serious injuries suffered by the victim, the judge concluded that Phileas was redeemable and capable of rehabilitation. However, the Director of Public Prosecutions appealed the sentence on the ground that it was unduly lenient, arguing that the judge misdirected herself by overemphasizing personal circumstances and failing to give sufficient weight to the deterrence and the seriousness of the firearm-related violence. The prosecution further contended that the judge erred in treating Phileas as a person of good standing despite his recent drug convictions, which occurred only months before the offense.
This is convoluted.
Oh my God, my head is about to explode.
This is convoluted. Like, what?
And this is still a judge? Anyway.
Ooh. The crime itself. Just the crime itself. I didn't need to hear anything more, Dwight. Everything else is irrelevant.
And thank God for the Court of Appeal. Anyway.
Thank goodness.
Oh my goodness gracious. The Court of Appeals found that the trial judge mischaracterized.
Is this the judge's son, maybe, and we didn't realize?
Son's twin brother. I don't know. The judge's twin brother. I have no idea. Anyway, the Court of Appeal found that the trial judge mischaracterized Phileas's age as a mitigating factor, noting that he was 33 years old at the time of the offense and 36 at sentencing. What is happening? The court stated that in the absence of immaturity or reduced culpability, age was a neutral factor and not mitigating. The Court of Appeal also described the attack as deliberate, sustained, and vicious, emphasizing that this was not an impulsive or emotionally driven incident. The judgment highlighted the deliberate use of the firearm, second shot, the beating of the victim with the weapon, and the decision to leave her bleeding and helpless in the roadway. The court
threatened her before he leaves. I mean, to have the wherewithal to actually then threaten her. What?
This is unbelievable. The court found that the offense fell at the upper end of the seriousness for attempted murder cases, particularly given the permanent injuries suffered by the victim. The court reiterated that attempted murder is among the most serious offenses known to the criminal law and carries a maximum penalty of life imprisonment under Section 292 of the Penal Code. You have to remind the judge this? Woo! The Court of Appeal judges also warned that the sentences which fail to reflect the seriousness of firearm violence risk undermining public confidence in the criminal justice system. The court quashed the sentence and substituted it with a sentence of 25 imprisonment beginning from the date of the conviction. Now, anyway. Okay. Wow. Well, and thank goodness that the Director of Public Prosecutions decided to appeal that decision too. But this
was this appealed by? Did it end up in the Court of Appeals due to the lawyer?
The Director of Public Prosecutions decided that they were not pleased with the outcome of the first trial, with the judge sentenced the accused to. Yeah. Wow. Okay, and we love to see this.
Judges are human. Judges are human. So they're not these emotionless robots, right? That's why you have a tiered system. Luckily, we have a tiered system where there is some level of checks and balances, right? But this is egregious, in my opinion. Like, it's just too much was missed. I mean, that the laundry list of items that the appeal court pointed out.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, we're not just saying this from a personal standpoint and feelings. There was like 7 or 8 items that they pointed out that was overlooked, right, by the presiding judge, original presiding judge. But my goodness.
A young man, contributing member of
33?
society, employment history, family ties, and church contributions.
You beat, shoot, and I think attempt to hit again, attack again.
He was going to kill her.
This lady on top of that.
And
that was the goal.
A convict, a drug convict, but a young man. Okay, well, I must be a kid.
So I mean, what I do wonder, Dwight, right? And it's something that we need to do more of in this country and in our personal business and business lives and family lives as well, is accountability, right? Like what happens next in this instance? Is there a body just astonishing misjudgments by someone that sits in such a powerful seat
That's
of
a great question.
influence
And we need
and
the
direction
Attorney
of people's
General
lives?
to
And they're
answer
supposed
that.
to be the arbitrator of justice in our country. Like, I'm just curious, and this has nothing to do with any judge individually. I'm talking about from a systems and process standpoint, right? And structure.
Yeah.
Like what does that look like? Because they're still there and without any type of recourse. Like what? Then okay, then so what?
And actually,
so what? And then I move on to the next case.
We need a body.
With impunity, apparently. I don't know. Maybe there is.
Well, we definitely don't hear about it. We don't hear about it, but it would be great.
And you have to be careful as well with such matters, Dwight, when it relates to the body of our judicial system. So I'm not saying it needs to be publicized in every paper and every social media website, but I'm just curious if there is a system of accountability for these type of cases where someone may just any job, someone may need more training. Somebody may not be performing well enough to continue. I don't know. I'm just saying that it exists in the real world and every other area of life. There has to be reviews, checks, like performance reviews. I'm just saying, and and accountability when major missteps are taken or made. By individuals on a team. I'm just saying. So
it's needed. It's needed, and we should be able to go through.
I'm not going to say it's not there.
Well, that should be known to the public. It shouldn't be a secret, right? And you should be able to go and look at the judgments of every magistrate and judge and see if you can notice a pattern, if there's something off, if they're that should be a thing. Why not? So hopefully we'll find out. Or Minister of. Something legal affair. I don't know, but somebody needs to answer that. That would be good to know if you could look back and say, "Yep, this one has an issue." Clearly, we have a lot of calls coming in and a lot of messages on this. This is disturbing, very, very, very disturbing. Let's hear from you, caller. Good morning. What say you on this?
Hey, good morning, Dwight.
Good morning.
And good morning, Farrell.
Good morning.
Yeah, guys, Dwight, you in particular. Hey, Dwight, a couple weeks, I talk maybe 2 years ago, you remember there was one Barbadian or one lawyer from, or one attorney general.
It was a prime minister from another country in the region, yes, who asked if the judges in the Bahamas are from, where did he say, Mars? Was it Mars?
From Mars, Dwight. Yeah. So, Dwight, this is another Mars situation. This ruling came from Mars, Dwight, right? Because we, the public, was complaining about these some of these rulings which was handed down, and it appears that they want to get the criminals them back on the street quick as possible, right? Because they're not interested in really issuing no rulings where people will say, "But look, you see what he get? But I ain't getting to that." No, they sending out rulings where the fellas them saying, "But yeah, but I could do that, but I could deal with that time, but because these fellas, I mean, Dwight, for the judge to come up to the conclusion he or she came up with, why he or she still has a job, man. And then these judges, we need to know who these people them are, man. Some of these people even they shouldn't even be a lawyer, much less a judge, right? Because when people commit crimes as gross as that, right? How you can come to the conclusion you arrive at too, and you have the evidence sitting right on your desk. It's craziness, and this is why the problem in this country is trending right out of we can't even keep up with it because we are people who know once they reach inside our courts, man, I could be bouncing, man. Guys, have a nice day.
Okay, thank you very much. Wow, plenty of people are
It
wondering
like
the same thing.
A lot of personal, I wouldn't say ties, but I don't know, just kind of focusing so much on the actual individual and not what was done.
Mm-hmm.
Which
that's what the Court of Appeals said.
Surprising.
That's what the Court of Appeals said.
It's very surprising.
Yeah. Wow. Let's take another call. Good morning, call. You're on the air.
Morning, Dwight. Maybe these judges from the farthest planet there is. Which one that is, Dwight?
Is Pluto still a planet? I don't know
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But we have to be thankful that they appealed the matter, and it's an upward sentence. Take in consideration too that they were trespassing on the property thanks to the alarm that they had in the car, and yes, he was going to crank that gun a second time and it jammed, and we have to look at it that whatever that sentencing report was, to look at, also look into who would have been his lawyer and who, and you can find out and you can go to the courts and look at and review, get a report of any judge's ruling, okay? And find out who the lawyers were and what's the association, because in this small society, there had to, in most cases, be some association in some kind of way, and let's just be thankful that they did appeal the matter, you see? So...
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, thank you very much.
Let it be as it is. I think I spent too much time on that, man. Justice. It was in the interest of justice, and that's where we are.
Yeah, well, that often, I don't know what you're telling us to move on for. People want to have their say like you are having yours, sir. But this doesn't happen like this every day. There are tons of people who are feeling that they did not get the justice they deserved. Right, so this is something to celebrate, but there's a victim whose life is forever changed, and we need to fight for all the others who are feeling that way as well. Let's take one more call before we have to take a break. We got a whole lot of your text messages, and now we're going to be moving on like that because people need to hear the outrage that there could be an initial decision like that, and that this is not acceptable in our country. Good morning, call. You're on the air.
Mr. Strachan.
Hi, good morning.
I'll see you guest. Now, Mr. Strachan, January 8th, 2026, yesterday, the main, the Tribune and the main headline page, right? There's a story of a gentleman on bail for murder, right? He's on bail for murder, mess up his bail conditions, and the judge sentenced him to 66 days in prison.
Wow.
For breach of his bail conditions, right?
Mm.
He's on bail for murder, right? He breached bail conditions. The judge didn't revoke his bail. The judge gave him 66 days in prison, so which means when that 66 days is up, he's going to be back on the streets probably again.
That's insane.
Something got to be going on. We have over 100 people on bail for murder in this country. I think it's the number I think was about 180 something a year or two ago, right? There's too many people on bail for murder. They're getting away, and that's why there's so much vigilante justice, because these guys are not waiting for the magistrates to do foolishness or what have you. You know what I mean? I think Mr. Goff was talking about the judges. Some of them need more training or performance appraisals. I don't know how they manage themselves, but this is ridiculous. As someone on bail for murder, he messes up his bail conditions, and he now gets 2 months, 6 days in prison.
Mm-hmm.
his bail is supposed to be revoked.
You would think.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you so much. Well, there's another case where the person violated the bail that was granted after they violated the bail that was granted for it just was like 3 different cases, remember? And they kept getting bail. It doesn't make any sense at some point.
But something, Dwight, we have to consider too, and it's very, very difficult to remain partial and objective and neutral as possible when you live in such a small country where everybody's related to some degree or another. That's another reality, that our judicial system has to try to navigate, and it's not easy, right? I mean, it's like a large country. You have no ties to these people who are walking into your court, and you can be a bit more partial, right? But I'm just saying that's another reality of being a very, very small, tight-knitted community and nation.
Yeah.
That a lot of these people are related, and sometimes it's very difficult to remove yourself from that, depending on the case and the side.
Right.
On the outside is very easy. On the
You're
outside,
supposed to declare that.
You're supposed to do this. You're supposed to do that. But in reality, when you're sitting in that chair day in and day out, overseeing these matters, seeing these people that are family members, that are friends, that are children of people who are very close to you, I'm just saying it is a reality.
And you are required to declare that and recuse yourself from those matters.
If that
right?
was the case, Dwight, the majority of our judges will be recused from every case.
So be it.
Very, 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 very small nation.
So be it.
Very few degrees of separation. And
you got to do it then.
In Nassau.
Oh, well.
Right?
All right.
It's just a reality. But I'm not excusing any misjudgment or misstep by one of the people in authority. I'm just saying that is a reality as well that has to be factored in.
We got to go to the news. We're going to pick this up on the other side. We got a lot more to say about it. Stay with us. Welcome back to Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for your smart devices. Also on your televisions on 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at Morning Blend 969 or Facebook.com/Morning Blend 969. Text us 422-4796. Standard text rate supply. And now at 8:20, it's time for another check of weather for today, brought to you by Sherwin-Williams. So we've got high pressure centered just to the northeast of the islands. That's extending a surface ridge across the country, contributing to the moderate to fresh breezes we're seeing, but also the warm temperatures and generally settled conditions, despite a few light passing showers along the breeze. Over the next few days, some light shower activity will remain possible into the weekend as a dominant high-pressure system continues to steer Atlantic moisture away from the area, a little bit over the area as well. That high pressure will gradually shift eastwards through the weekend, allowing a frontal boundary to approach late Sunday night into Monday morning. That front's expected to produce isolated showers along the boundary before dissipating near the northwest Bahamas by late Tuesday. A second front is expected later in the work week, and that's going to bring another round of showers. Before all that, though, we have to contend with a moderate risk of rip currents along eastern and Atlantic shorelines in the central and southeast Bahamas. Beachgoers and swimmers there should exercise caution. For today, a mix of sun and clouds for the northwest Bahamas and the central islands, becoming mainly fair tonight. Partly sunny for the extreme northern islands at night, and a mix of sun and clouds becoming fair at night for the southeast. Variably cloudy, becoming fair at night for the southeast Bahamas. High temperatures today, highs around a warm 84 Fahrenheit, 29 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 71, 72 Fahrenheit, 22 Celsius. In your extended outlook for the weekend, Saturday, a mix of sun and clouds, a 10 to 20% chance of light passing showers. Partly sunny for Sunday for most areas, partly cloudy for the extreme northern Bahamas, a 20 to 30% chance of a few isolated showers. That front's going to move through, and we'll see partly cloudy to cloudy conditions for the northern half of the country by Monday, partly sunny in the central and southeast Bahamas, and still some elevated rain chances as that front moves through. By Tuesday, a mix of sun and clouds during the day, becoming variably with about a 10 to 30% chance of isolated showers. That's your morning blend weather check, brought to you by Sherwin-Williams. If you're ready to refresh your space, head to your local Sherwin-Williams for premium paint, pro tips, and everyday deals to make it easy to get started. And at 8:23, it is time for a check of traffic brought to you by RBC. With RBC, your goals happen here. Work spots to tell you about. We've got Carmichael Road between Unison Road and Blyden Road. That continues between 9:30 a.m. and 2 p.m. You want to avoid that area while that work is being done, or at least follow the posted signs. More work happening between 9:30 and 2:30 p.m. on Windsor Road between Burnett Road and Kildare Drive. That's going to continue until the work is done. So again, avoid that area if you can. And definitely on Balfour Avenue, you want to avoid between Claridge Road and East Street. That work is taking place mainly at night. And even in the daytime, you might want to avoid that area. To tell you the truth, I was on that yesterday, and not a pleasant ride right now. But hopefully it'll be better after the road is paved. But most of the work is happening between 7 p.m. and 1 a.m. So keep traffic. Well, you would probably want to avoid the streets altogether right now, too. We're seeing a lot of hot spots, and it's not pretty. We've got Milo Butler Highway as usual. Heavy traffic just north of Fire Trail. You see that all the way up to Tonic Williams-Darling Highway. Heavy northbound traffic there. Blue Hill Road, similar story. Very heavy traffic from St. Vincent straight up to Independence Drive, especially once you get north of Carmichael. And Independence Drive, heavy traffic both directions, east and westbound on that highway. And East Street as well, north and southbound, north and south of Soldier Road, the intersection there. Over on Prince Charles Drive, not pleasant at all at the major intersections, especially near Beatrice Avenue and heading into Robinson Road. Very heavy westbound traffic this morning, all the way up to Marathon and East-West Highway. Old Trail northbound to Robinson, also not the place to be right now. Section with Prince Charles Drive, you're going to see slow-moving northbound traffic on the way to Bernard, Wolf, and Village Road. Eastern Road, also heavy, slow-moving westbound traffic from just east of Fox Hill straight up to Johnson Road. Bay Street and West Bay Street, from you're at Saunders Beach and eastbound, you're going to see that slow-moving traffic near your Providence Highway. Then again, east of Arawaki, heavy traffic both directions once you're near Nassau Street, and slow-moving traffic heading into the downtown area. Those are your hot spots, but there are others out there, so keep that in mind. That's your real-time traffic and your Morning Blend traffic alert, also brought to you by NUA Insurance Agents and Brokers. Whether you're on the road or planning your next move, they've got you covered. Visit nuainsurance.com for an instant motor quote or stop by your nearest branch today.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app. Nassau, Boston.
Too much crime in our country today. Everyone wants to live their own way. The stabbing and the shooting need to put that away. Talking to the youth, you better go and learn a trade.
We need a trailer load of love, put all your gun them away. Cause the man up in the mirror, my face. Make a change, we need a trailer load of love, put all the nice them away. Cause the stabbing and the killing, we can't deal with it.
Cause every day, man, you hear a news bulletin. Someone's killed or a house has been broken. Girls been raped or a child has been molested. And still, we need to bend on our knees and pray to Almighty Father, take the pain away. Too much crime in our country today. Everyone wants to live their own way. The stabbing stabbing and the shooting, need to put that away. Talking to the youth, you need to go and learn a trade.
We need a trailer load of love, but all your gun them away. Cause the man up in the mirror, my face make a change. We need a trailer load of love, but all the knife them away. Cause the stabbing and the killing, we can't deal with it.
We are back with Morning Blend on this Friday morning on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Farrell Goff. Got a lot of people pronounce your name strangely, Farrell. Farrell Goff. L on the end, right?
You've been saying my name for a very long time, Dwight. Come on now.
All these years, I don't know why they can't get it. But Farrell, Farrell, Farrell Goff. Okay, we're talking about this amazing court case, the Court of Appeal, tacking on more time to a sentence handed down in the Supreme Court some time back, essentially doubling the time that the accused is the convict is to spend in jail because of how they feel the judge erred in handing the sentencing down, right? So just really quickly, I'll summarize this again. This is from the Tribune today. A man who shot a woman in her vagina, beat her with a firearm, and threatened to kill her and her family has had his prison sentence more than doubled after the Court of Appeal ruled that the original punishment grossly understated the brutality of the crime. The Court of Appeal increased the sentence of Mike Phileas from 10 to 25 years imprisonment, finding that the trial judge placed excessive weight on his personal circumstances and failed to properly account for the seriousness of a deliberate firearm attack that left the victim permanently. Phileas was convicted of the attempted murder of Jacqueline Similian, who was shot outside her home in August 2021 and now lives with life-altering injuries. Right, we went through all the terrible attack and what happened there. Following the conviction, Phileas was sentenced by the trial judge to 10 years imprisonment, less time spent on remand. In arriving at that sentence, the judge relied heavily on a probation report and concluded that mitigating factors outweigh the aggravating ones. The judge described Phileas as a young man a contributing member of society and ordinarily of good standing, citing his employment history, family ties, and church contributions. Despite acknowledging the heinous nature of the offense and the serious injuries suffered by the victim, the judge concluded that Phileas was redeemable and capable of rehabilitation. However, the judge was unduly lenient, arguing that the judge misdirected herself by overemphasizing personal circumstances and failing to give sufficient weight to deterrence and the seriousness of the firearm-related violence. The prosecution further contended that the judge erred in treating Phileas as a person of good standing despite his recent drug convictions, which occurred only months before the offense. Again, really quickly, the Court of Appeal found that the trial judge mischaracterized Phileas's age as a mitigating factor, noting that he was 33 at the time of the offense and 36 at the time of sentencing. So that's crazy. The court stated that in the absence of immaturity or reduced culpability, age was a neutral factor and not mitigating. The Court of Appeal also described the attack as deliberate, sustained, and vicious, emphasizing that this was not an impulsive or emotionally driven. The deliberate use of the firearm, the attempt to fire a second shot, the beating of the victim with the weapon, and the decision to leave her bleeding and helpless in the roadway. Wow. Okay. Yeah, and if you want to find out more, you can Google this. You'll find the NASA Guardian articles on the case and the judge and more of it in there. And people ask me about where was her boyfriend. In the NASA Guardian article, you'll find out what happened to him there as well. Okay, so let's get your reaction. We are, again, applauding the Court of Appeal, applauding the Director of Public Prosecutions for appealing the case. But we know that this happens a lot. We are scratching our heads when we hear the rulings, the sentencing from Supreme Court judges, some of the rulings, and we wonder that Caribbean leader who asked, are the judges in the Bahamas from Mars? We sometimes ask that question, right? So we're getting a reaction to it this morning. 323-6232. 325-4316. Not the Court of Appeal judges, though. Thank goodness. They seem to be on our planet. 325-4259. Call us toll free, 242-300-5720. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. Let's take these calls. Good morning, caller. You're live on the air.
Good morning, Dwight and Farrell.
There you go.
Dwight, I've been watching this very closely, and, there seems to be a struggle between law and this power. There seems to be a cartel. Judges may be threatened and intimidated, and then it may come a point where they say, look, if you recuse yourself from this, here are pictures of your family members. Here's how we can deal with this. So you see this one through, and we'll take care of you. Who knows where the judge head may be? The judge may be on the payroll. I don't know. I'm only speculating. But
boy.
There seems to be a mafia-style-like condition in the Bahamas. And I'm wondering if judges are falling into the trap. That may be a possibility to consider. What do you think?
I wouldn't want to go to that road. It might just, I don't know. I don't know what happened here. I'm not sure. I don't know. But as Farrell said, the place is small. But you do live here, though, right? You do. We need to send strong messages. This is terrible, and so many things involved here. This could have ended badly. The victim is still suffering. Will always be suffering. Firearm. This was not a legal firearm. So many things.
Necessarily just want to send a strong message. I think what we do want from our judiciary is for them to be able to impartially and objectively carry out the law. Really, that's most important, right? And in cases like this, when it seems so egregious and so obvious that judgment, fair judgment was not doled out, what are the next steps? Like that is to me the most important question. I don't want to get too emotional about it. It's unfortunate. It's fortunate that it was caught, but in these circumstances, what is the procedure? What is the follow-up, right? We know what they are in private sector, government sector. They have policies around this and accountable if they're found liable of missteps or breach of conduct and policy. What is there such a system in the judiciary system that, again, that can identify weak links, help them if they need it, and just to ensure that, again, that fair and objective judgments are being passed down. That's super concerning for me. What is the next step? Or are these folks able to operate with impunity, or they're untouchable now that they've ascended to that, to such a high seat in our courts? I just would like to know, not only particularly for this judge in particular, but future and previous rulings. Is there a system in place?
Okay, let's take this call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight. Good morning, Farrell.
Hi, good morning.
Farrell, thing that I believe that we cannot ignore, and I do not want it to fly overhead. In fact, the previous caller also mentioned something quite interesting that perhaps we haven't taken it into consideration, and that is, it'll be quite interesting if it was the case that perhaps there was a threat on the judge to make such a ruling in this favor. How many threats do our judges or our persons in our judiciary do get on a day-to-day basis? That's something that we don't know. The thing that really caught my attention, though, is for a case such as this, which is a heinous one, where does the Attorney General's office sit in all of this? Do they not have oversight on all of these cases that is presented before the courts? And why is it that apparently, I don't know if this is something that they may have overlooked, but there's a deafening silence on this because
what do you mean? Oversight in terms of what? And the director?
Oversight in terms of the outcome of this case. What? Isn't it not a questionable one?
Again, the Director of Public Prosecutions, who's responsible, appealed.
I understand. That's right.
Remember, we created this box. It's more impartial and seen to be less, right? Or less impartial. What we intended to happen happened, right? The functions are functioning. Yes.
Yeah.
So I mean, what do you want? I think to answer some of Farrell's questions, you need to hear from the Attorney General.
Yeah, this is that's the direction that I'm going in, Dwight.
Mm-hmm.
And this is why I'm saying we always talk about what you call a safety net, a safe gap measure. In other words, if all these cases are presented and let's say the DPP picked up on something, but or did not pick up on something. Something as saying this is this. Shouldn't the AG office then get involved to get to the bottom, even though that DPP is autonomous? Don't you think that should have set off bells and whistles as well? You see, this is what I'm saying. We're talking about the safety gap, the safe gap measure. If one area misses something, shouldn't the other area then bring it to the attention and appeal it as well, or get more insight into why this particular ruling was taken in this particular case, being such of the magnitude that it is? This is what they do on this one particular case because, honestly, and I'll close on this note, we know that many Bahamians are very suspicious of our judiciary. And I'm not going to say much more on this, but this is just one of those cases that just seems really odd, but let's see how this thing goes. But thanks for taking my call. I'll continue to listen.
Okay. All right. Thanks a lot. Let's read some of your text messages before we get back to the calls. This person says here, I guess the victim needs to sue for emotional distress. Sue who? The guy who's in jail? Okay. There goes the church foolishness again. Oh, boy. Once you claim you're Christian or a churchgoer, that's it. All wrongdoing gets thrown out. Yeah? Well, I don't know about that, but okay.
No, if that's the case, every Bahamian is a devout Christian.
I don't know about that one. But
we wouldn't have anybody in jail, apparently.
Ooh. How did the case get appealed? Well, I don't think the DPP's office just no way that can't go like that. It seems. I don't know. Dwight and Farrell, did the prosecutor present this overwhelming evidence in the initial trial against the defense? What's happening here? A jury convicted the man of trying to kill his rival's girlfriend, right? He was convicted, and he was sentenced to 10 years. The Director of Public Prosecutions appealed because they said that's too lenient, and they felt that he should have gotten more time. And the Court of Appeal agreed. No new evidence was presented in the Court of Appeal and said they think the judge erred. Right? Maybe you didn't hear me read the article. Go back and read it for yourself and see what happened there. He wasn't retried. It's just they're looking at the sentencing. They had an issue with the sentencing. Mm-hmm. This person says, hey, whoever that judge is, what's going on? Whoever that judge is, they should, oh boy. Okay. They should look at that. Okay. I'm going to edit that there. This one says here, just ask Wayne Monroe's position, and he will tell you 10 years is harsh and he should have had 5. Now, I don't know if that's true, but, okay. This person says, I thought there was a thing called judicial review system, given that we have the Lodge of Band of Brothers. I don't know what you're saying. I'm not understanding. Okay. This is...
No, I think they may be saying that there should be an independent body that oversees such things.
There really should be.
Yeah, there should be, but there isn't. I don't think there is.
This one says...
And again, I think Dwight and, persons like myself and other citizens out there, we rely on the media and positions like you to drive this for us and try to ask the right questions of the right people and have the right conversations so we actually get real answers as much as we possibly can. This I think this warrants it because any of us can be the next person that's before these judges for whatever reason. Sometimes it's we don't see it coming, right? But it can be us, and And we just hope that we be treated fairly. That's all I'm asking for of across the board, especially with people of that much power and influence, is that things are done objectively and fairly as much as humanly possible under the current circumstances.
Yeah. A lot of the people, the right people, as you say, who don't like to talk. I have them know. It's hard to get them to talk. This person says here, I don't know what Farrell is talking about. Most of those judges are foreigners. That's not true. Not true. And those who are Bahamians can risk themselves, especially if murder is the case. By the way, judges are oh my Lord. Texter, you got a lot of issues, a lot of trust issues, it seems, and you're making some crazy claims. So, boy, I don't know how you sleep at night. You feel comfortable here with how you feel the country is operating? Yeah, oh boy.
Some strong words.
But I couldn't read it. I couldn't read the text. You need to see what they said, what they are emphatically saying. I don't know why. You must drive a very well armored vehicle. Anyway, Dwight, politicians, the Attorney General, employees, and the policeman's family, friends, and lovers are not ever charged or sent to prison. Really, go figure. Are unsolved and have serious ulterior motives why they are unsolved. Okay, another one who's really got not much faith.
No, there is some truth. In many countries, the persons that are well connected, the law seems to bend a bit differently for them. Though this is not unique to the Bahamas, right? This is the board, which is another very concerning aspect of the law, right? That it can bend in different directions, which is incredible, right? It just speaks to why, again, we need these reviews. We need persons in positions held accountable so things can be more objectively and fairly done.
Okay, let's take these calls. Good morning. Call you on the air.
Yeah, pleasant good morning, Dwight. Pleasant good morning to your co-host.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for taking my call. First of all, let me say, starting off, I support law and order, justice, fair play. I support judges and their desire to do their work. However, I recall a time, Dwight, I don't know if you were that old, when justices were the esteemed person who are respected by community. And when you are appointed to the post of a judge, you have been an expert in your field, and they had the confidence in you that you would discharge your duties fairly. Now, first question I have is, the Brittany Harris case, was there an adjournment for that? Do you know?
Let me look in the article, but she didn't meet her bail requirements. So
No. Forget it. Do you know if it was set for trial for this month?
Let's see.
Or to appear before court?
The matter was adjourned to February 24th.
February 24th, okay.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And I heard that there was a forfeiture of bail because she did not, she breached her bail, whatever. If I recall, the law requires sureties to appear to show cause why bail should be forfeited. There's never a case where you just cancel a person's bail or order surety to pay costs when that was not, in fact, the adjoined date. If that was correct, I don't know. That's the first point. The next point I have.
Okay, don't go on yet. So, as part of her bail, she was supposed to report to the police in Canada every few days or so. She apparently has not been doing that. Mm-hmm. But she's been meeting with the press in Canada.
If that is the case, even if that is the case, Dwight, the surety should have been why the bail should have been forfeited. You don't just cancel people, take people money just like that without showing cause. Have given them an opportunity to show cause why that should be forfeited.
That might have happened. I don't know. But the magistrate ordered them to come. They've been ordered to pay. But
Can you look into that for us, please? It would be interesting to hear the facts of that. The next thing is the point where the Honorable Minister said, I could be wrong in this, I'm not totally correct, but I didn't get a full understanding of the case. But he said he was not aware that families of police officers were being denied treatment for insurance. Am I correct?
I missed, but say that part again.
Am I correct? I am not totally sure of what I'm saying, but I'm asking you to help me with this. Is the Honorable Minister saying that he was not aware that families of police officers were being denied treatment from the insurance because they were not covered or something like that?
He said he found out when they posted that letter.
How can that be? And he's the one who gave the direction that families will not be covered. How can he tell the people that? He's the one who said that no longer will families of police officers being covered in the insurance. And he know how much money the government. Do we expect the people to just continue to just give favors because they are the government? That's wrong, Dwight.
Oh, so I'll read exactly what the article says today in The Guardian. Monroe said yesterday that his ministry was not made aware of the issue or the concerns of those officers until the PSA released its memo. He said, quote, they never asked us to look into the claims. They published a memo. Subsequent to them publishing the memo, I've directed it to my permanent secretary, who will be reaching out to them to have them give us the details of the persons affected.
Okay. My last point, please, Dwight, is that I'll encourage all of us to hold all of us accountable to obeying the law, to be frank and upfront with police officers. The last point is, there was a decision made by the judge, a controversial decision where the judge dismissed, I think it's a murder case, because he had given the prosecution to present their case, and they did not. And the public was mad with the judge, I believe, because why did he do that? He did it because people have to be accountable. I remember the highest court gave you the directive, look, have your case prepared 3 times, right? Have this done. And you disrespect the court, you can't do that. How can we live in a fair society if the people who are responsible for upholding the law continuously fly in the face of a judge? Anyway, I pray for Bahamas.
Okay.
Thanks so much, Dwight.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Take one more call, and then we'll read the final messages before we have to take a break. You're live on the air. Good morning, caller.
Hey, good morning, Dwight, and good morning to Sarah.
Hi.
You know, what I wanted to say was I am assuming that the families of the young lady might have been office or the AG office probably to get them to take a second look at that.
It's
because
possible.
there are so many other cases where the public felt like it was unfair results, unfair time given. Look at the person with the rape for 9 years, where we made an outcry. There's a lot of things we talked about that never got a second look at.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming the family of that young lady might have pushed.
Yeah. It's possible. It's quite possible. I'm glad that they did, though.
All the other ones didn't seem to appear to get this attention. So that's why I feel like some way along the line, the families was refusing to give up.
Yeah. Well, we made noise, and the mother of the 8-year-old who was doing the homework, remember, and the gun went through the house, and everybody made noise, and the DPP decided to pursue. It's good. We have to do this. We have to speak out. We have to. The victims need to. The public needs to. And
the family needs to not give up. And when they don't get the desired results, I think the families need to come back, guys, sit on the talk shows and the radios and the news, wherever, and speak it so the AG office could take a second look at it. The way it happened, somehow I feel like the family did not give up. Because they say looking like something just the AG office did. No.
I mean, as you said, you're assuming. We don't know. They might have been really disturbed by it too. But at least somebody was. Whoever it was, thank God. And thank God this is a better semblance of justice. Okay, well, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Farrell, you were saying something?
But we can't. I wouldn't want a system that relies on the cases that make the most noise get the attention, right? To agitate and move in ways to have their voices heard. And they may be also disadvantaged because of certain judgments. So it's, again, I don't like this reaction or reactive measures for things to happen in a space that's so important and influential as our judiciary system. That should not, I'm just saying we can't wait on the radio and newspapers and the public to wait for the next case that's going to be pushed up, right? Or contested. You need systems in place to make sure this happens on its own. Otherwise, it's just not going to be fairly done. Again, doling out the law should be based off of fairness and objectivity, right? Not emotion, not noise, not connectivity. But I can be speaking very ideally right
I
now,
think you
but
are.
idealistically, but I'm just saying that we become a more developed, a more progressive, modern country. These are the things that we have to push for systematically, right? I just want to put that out there, Dwight. I mean, you just simply can't wait on the next loud case and keep your fingers crossed that it works out.
Wow. Okay. Oh boy, some of these text messages. What's happening today? This person's like outraged about Brittany Harris. Who did Brittany Harris kill? What's going on? Yeah. Well, character assassination is a serious thing too. 323. You can take a couple more calls. Yep. 323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259. Call us toll free 242-300-5726. 422-4796. I agree with that caller and Farrell. The family likely pursued justice, and it shouldn't take public shaming and agitation to get to justice. It shouldn't. A lot of things shouldn't be happening, but often that is what is needed, and all over the world. It is sad, but unfortunately necessary at times. Yeah. Wow. All right. Well, I'm sure there's going to be more reaction and maybe even fallout from this. We will see. And a lot of great questions were asked today. We need to get the answers. Hopefully we will. Right? Is anybody
Dwight,
reviewing?
We're going to rely on you guys. We're going to rely on the media in particular to agitate and get these persons in front of a mic, in front of them, to address the public in a very direct way and provide as much answers as they possibly can. Some things may not be for general consumption, right?
Yeah. We will definitely try. If you know any of these officials, encourage them to speak the truth and to speak, which many of them don't do, right? Because it's really hard to get information around here. And there's a reason why so many people are agitating for a Freedom of Information Act, because it's like, pulling teeth to get these folks.
That our judges sit in a very precarious seat as well, right? I mean, they are at a lot of risk. They do very important work, and I can understand why discretion is extremely important for them in that industry. Also, Dwight, right? But we have to kind of find the happy medium in this.
Well, we're just asking whether, as you said, there is anybody going through. There likely to be some issues, or yes, this judge functions in a fair, impartial way. Look at these judgments. This is very level-headed. Look at this. Or there's some bizarre things happening with this magistrate. We don't know. We want to know. Who do we talk to about that? Is it the Attorney General? Maybe. Caller, you got the final word. Good morning. You're on the air.
Yes, good morning, Dwight, and good morning, Farrell. Happy New Year to both of you.
Same to you. Happy New Year.
Same to you. Thank you.
Dwight,
good morning.
My question is, I think I'll say similarly along the lines what Jeff was trying to articulate. Do the judges have a boss besides the appellate court that they have to answer to? Hello?
Yeah, we're listening to you. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I'm asking you, do they have a boss? Like, if they make they say, well, okay, we have our discretion, the judge's discretion, and are they calling? Because some of these rulings, you have to look at them with a jaundiced eye, man. Because some of the things to the average person, it just doesn't make sense. Are they calling and question about their rulings so their boss can have an idea of what their line of thinking was? I remember, I think I was listening to another talk show host somewhere in the Cayman Islands, where one of the because of their strict gun laws, and the judge or the magistrate made a ruling, and the people got up. They got up in arms. They came down on that person, and she had to explain. She had to explain to the people the rationale behind her thinking. But we don't seem to get it. Like they're ruling a sacrosanct, and they're not to be questioned, and so on and so forth. But they need to be held accountable as well.
All right. So the issue that we've been having here is mainly not because of the sentencing, right? The judge, they're usually going to tell you, we hear that all the time from them, that they are guided by the sentencing guidelines, and that it's limitations in the law which will inform how they decide on a sentencing ruling. So the problem most times will be with the legislation and with our lawmakers who have handcuffed basically handicapping what a judge can do. So what happened here was that the judge was on the low end of the sentencing guidelines. Right. So that is the issue. Most times it's because by law, this is all the judge can do. So our problem often isn't necessarily the judge or the magistrate. It is the law and the lawmakers.
But if there's a law, I'm going to go right now. I remember there was a particular case that came before a magistrate, okay? A Haitian man was caught at the airport with some over $10,000. According to the information, it said that he was seen to be acting suspiciously, right? He was taken before the court, and the magistrate, he told the magistrate that one man named Fufu gave him the money. He didn't know the thing, all kind of foolishness, right? At the end of the day, the magistrate allowed him to go, and the money, I think, was returned or something like that. An American man, right, was in a similar situation. His money was confiscated, right? Now, what is the difference? Okay, obviously, the Haitian guy, he was acting suspiciously. He knew what he was doing was wrong, but yet he was given a blight. So you question, you say, well, what is going on here? What is going on here? It's just so many things that you have to look at and say, man, something happening. That's all I say. Have a good day.
Okay. Well, I'm sure the cases weren't identical, and there were factors. I don't know anything about what you're talking about, but I'm sure there's always something else, and so things that might look similar on the surface to somebody on the outside won't necessarily be what's in the evidence. So anyway, we can't speculate on that. We have to break for news headlines. When we come back, it's business. We're talking about safety and security, the outlook for 2026. What are the challenges that lie ahead in this new year? This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
Every morning you wake up, you hear another life get taken. And make it hard for our country. Our people need to feel safe. The young men out there walking around with guns in their waist. To arrest out night smoking drugs, but they're wasting their life away. So what we gonna do to stop these young men from doing crime? Oh, show them love. Maybe they will change their mind. Come on now.
Mommy, are you renting to Santa too?
You have Santa. I have CIBC Caribbean. CIBC has sweetened the season, so you can bring your holiday dreams to life and wrap a new home or land with incredible cashback deals. Plus, your approved loan gives you a chance to win up to US $5,000. Apply now at .cibccaribbean.com/sweeten the season. Terms and conditions apply.
At CFAL, we understand that a secure future is the greatest gift you can give your employees. That's why our tailor-made group pension solutions are designed to fit the needs of both large and small companies. With CFAL, you can provide the retirement you and your employees deserve, ensuring peace of mind and financial stability for years to come. Join the many businesses that have already entrusted CFAL to create the right pension plan for their employees, and let us help you build a brighter future for your team. Visit us at cfal.com to get started on building wealth so you can live well. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app. Nassau, Bahamas.
No one likes a fender bender.
Oh, man.
From a little scratch to a full mashup, NUA Insurance has got you covered with auto insurance tailored to fit your needs and budget. For affordable rates with free on-site accident assistance, visit us online or NUA Insurance. Ask us because we've got you covered.
Put more money back in your pocket with a Fidelity debt consolidation loan. Why pay more when you can pay less? Reduce your monthly debt payments down to one low, easy payment. Apply for a Fidelity debt consolidation loan today. Call 356-7764.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
Looking for insurance that fits your lifestyle and your budget? At Star General Insurance, we've got you covered. Whether it's motor insurance with flexible options for third-party liability and comprehensive coverage, or commercial insurance products that protect your business, we have choices you can afford. Own a home or renting? Our home insurance products have just what you need. And for the adventurers out there, we offer marine insurance too. Visit our website or social media pages for contact information and quotes. Star General, insurance made simple.
Looking for a school that's international, proudly Bahamian, and truly invested in your child's future? Bring the kids and join us at the St. Andrews International Open House on Saturday, January 17th at 11 a.m. Meet our passionate teachers, tour our campus, and experience a vibrant, welcoming community where students are supported, challenged, and inspired to lead with confidence. Come see the St. Andrews difference for yourself. Visit standrewsbahamas.com 7800. St. Andrews International School, Ethics and Excellence.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app. Nassau, Bahamas. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning and welcome to Morning Blend Business on this Friday, January 9th, 2026. Welcome back to our Morning Blend listeners. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan along with Farrell Goff. And this morning it's time for our monthly Safe and Sound series. Today we are looking back at 2025 to see if there are any trends and what we can expect, the outlook for safety and security concerns, issues for 2026. As always, Gamal Nuri with Preventative Measures is with us. Good morning, sir. Happy New Year.
Good morning, Dwight. Happy New Year to everyone. Good morning, Farrell. Good to see you, hear you. I hope everybody is well.
Good morning. I can't see you, but we'll save that for the listeners.
All right, so you've brought a whole crew with you this morning, and they're part of the new Caribbean Safety and Security Alliance. We've got Donovan Paul, Sega Thompson, Sebastian Curry, Malvin Gordon. Great to have you all with us. Good morning. Hope I got everybody.
Good morning, everyone.
All right. So, Gamal, I guess you should start us off. Tell us about the alliance, how this came about, and then we'll get into our topic for today.
The alliance came about, like-minded individuals. We are in the same industry, with bringing various aspects of the industry together. And so, one is good, or what do we say in operations? One is none, and two is one. So, certainly together we provide a bigger platform, a much stronger voice in the community as it relates to safety and security. And the individuals here represent a very broad cross range of security, safety industries, including Sebastian's Alliance, Donovan Paul's group. We have the Firearms Association. We also have Ms. Thompson, who is an expert in cybersecurity. So having that same interest, having some of the same goals, we decided that let's come together and let's harness and bring some of our resources together so we can have a stronger voice in the community.
And if people hear about this and want to be a part or want to learn more about it, are they welcome? What do they need to know?
Sure. If they're interested, if anyone in the industry, and it's right now we're sort of exclusive, so your business has to be centered around security and safety. It's not limited to, a lot of times people hear security and they jump straight to guard services. This is much more than that. And we definitely look forward to having persons. They can reach out to me, Gamal Nurio, any one of the Alliance members, Donovan Paul, Sebastian Perry, Ms. Thompson, the Sega Thompson. We're all of us are on LinkedIn. We're also on Facebook. Our various entities are there as well.
Okay. Wonderful stuff. All right, so let's get into it. Let's talk about what emerged out of 2025 and what we are predicting are going to be some of the issues that we're going to have to deal with in 2026, in this new year and going forward. Get us started. And for everybody, when you talk, it's radio, so we've got a big crew, so identify yourself. Where do you go to speak? I think for the gentleman, we might need you to say your name when you start to talk. All right, so Gamal, you want to get us started?
I think we started off this year. We saw a major disruption within the region. As it relates to how business continues, and I think it's a very good point for business continuity. When you see a disruption of that nature, I'm speaking specifically to what occurred in Venezuela.
Right.
And I'm not going to get caught up in the politics or the pros and cons of it. I just look at how the government was able to recover and resume its operations, considering that there was a major disruption. So I think that, like last year, where we saw things ranging from hurricanes, where we saw things ranging from major cyber attacks locally and internationally, we continue to see these types of trends. And like I said, considering that the year started off with a bang, I anticipate a continuation of that as we see this type of incident evolve and impact the rest of the region. Mm-hmm. I'm sure Donovan and Sebastian can add some more highlights of that as well.
Yes, I agree. That was definitely a bang. Donovan Paul speaking. And I would think the focus this year would be more about efficiency, being efficient in reference to your services that you offer. And I think that will definitely play out throughout the year.
Okay, Sebastian, Sega. Mm-hmm.
Well, before we move on to Donovan, small, medium agencies, are we talking about like implementing technology, AI? Are there simple methods out there we can start to maximize some of that and allow us to do more for less?
Yes. For example, I recently deal with a lot of point of sale vendors, and clients want to record their transactions as though it's a camera screen. So that's something that you could do virtually, whereas you can monitor your employees using your existing resources. I also have a few clients that are now using their irrigation systems as self-defense mechanisms, as well as fire suppression as self-defense mechanisms. So like I say, you can't look at things.
Hold on. An irrigation system as an irrigation in my mind, and help me, Donovan, is water in the grass.
Is it water they're shooting out of people, or
that's all one I gotta be careful walking through people's lawn nowadays.
Yeah. But the reality is, if you have an irrigation system, you would want to utilize that not only for watering the grass, but in the event the alarm system goes off, you could utilize that to deter criminals. And the same thing in reference to fire suppression. I have clients now, they're using their fire suppression as a fog cannon to disrupt the visible view of criminals. So now you have to start looking at things from not a simple one-dimensional, but mostly more like two-dimensional in reference to usage. You want to put everything to use.
Okay, good to know. Good to know. Thank you, Donovan. Very creative. All right, Sebastian.
Hi, yes. So I'm listening to everyone. I fully agree with Mr. Donovan Paul, Mr. Gamal Nuro, for businesses having to adapt their internal resources to utilize it. Like Mr. Gamal Nuri indicated, in terms of continuity, where in the situation with Venezuela, so continuity is very important. And as we know, like in the past of 2025, there were a lot of banks being hit by phishing attempts.
Yeah.
But they still were able to pivot and to be able to adapt and to move on. So that is important. That is very important, because cybercrime is not going nowhere, especially with AI. So we have to be able to adapt and to really be effective in terms of our response. So that's why, because Sebastian Alliance Group is more in the fintech space, which really aligns with the cybersecurity, because that goes hand in hand. With that, you have to be able to provide swift payment systems, as well as provide a secure environment for your clients, as well as the banks.
Wow, yeah, that's very important. Sega Thompson, the last time you were here, we were talking about folks paying attention and what to look out for. And it feels like December, everybody just threw out the window. But what do we need to do to get the public more aware that there are a lot of people trying to be you, get everything you have, and destroy you even?
I don't think Sega is on right now.
Okay.
I know Gordon is here. I don't know if Mr. Gordon wants to add to it.
Good morning.
All right, Malvin Gordon, thank you for being here.
Yeah, hi. I agree with what Sebastian mentioned. One of the things we do in our training, which is the Refuse to Be a Victim training, we also talk about cybersecurity. And the thing is, the problem is there's so much things that is out there right now that people miss. For example, you can get an email that looks legitimate. You know what I mean? You can get a text that looks legitimate. And so what we try to train people is what to look for, some of the key things to look for. Even when you hit one of those links, if you look at the symbol is looking at the web address, you realize that, okay, that's not Bank of Bahamas. That's some really long address, but the screen may look like Bank of Bahamas, right? So even in the training, we actually have a full demo where we show them, okay, this is what happens when you click this or when you click that. But yeah, I agree 100% that there needs to be a whole lot more on this topic, especially a training, this training, general training for everybody. And it has to be hands-on training though, not just saying, okay, look out for this or look out exactly what's going on.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. All right. So we've already heard quite a few of you mention AI. In 2026, is AI going to be the biggest blessing or curse, or is it both?
It depends on who's going to be using. It could be a blessing for the good guys. It could be a curse, or it could be a blessing It'd be a curse for the good guys. Well, it depends on who's using it, right?
Right.
It depends on who's using it. When you consider the applications and to jump back on to Donovan's point about, how we see 2026 coming, certainly efficiency. So people are going to be looking for easier ways, more seamless transactions. People are going to be looking to close some of those gaps. So here's a blessing from a business perspective, but now that creates opportunity for a criminal to manipulate and take advantage of persons who are not as savvy as they should be. So the cyberspace is definitely going to be a major battleground for business, for law enforcement, for the corporate sector, and the individual being.
But are we at the point where AI is so good that we don't know what to believe, and that we are in a place where it's going to be increasingly hard to tell what just happened, because that I could have sworn that was who I thought it was. It looks just like him. That's how he speaks. That's what he says. This video convinced me that I need to do this because my boss, whatever. Are we in the danger zone now?
I think definitely. We've seen over the year, last year we also went on AI investigative tools. And we've seen in the last 6 months, the sophistication, the reality of the realness rather of AI, AI type developments, right? And so it becomes very, very difficult. I don't know if I'm sure you guys and the rest of the team could speak to it. You'd have seen, I think there's an ad that floats around Facebook, social media, where they're taking your old picture and they're regenerating that picture to make it more real. And if you would have watched those ads at the beginning of 2025, they were just regenerating the picture. Now we see that they are actually animating the picture.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you would have seen that trend. In early 2025, they were just reinvigorating the photograph. But in coming towards the end, they've actually now animated that photograph and given those individuals life and realistic movement with an old photograph. So this is the type of technology that is out there, and it can be used for good and it can be used for bad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. If you've got questions for our guests, the Caribbean Safety and Security Alliance, we're talking about safety and security trends and concerns for 2026. Give us a call, 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Call us toll free, 242-300-5720. And you can tweet us, you can Facebook us, you can text us, 422-4796. Got a couple text messages coming in. But I want to know, what keeps you all up at night? What do you personal safety and security, what are you really worried about? Donovan, you want to begin for us?
Okay. I'm basically looking at it, getting back to talking about efficiencies and analyzing the technology out there that utilizes wireless routers for detecting presence. So I think how we look at technology, we need to embrace every aspect of it so that we could evolve as a people. And that's the direction. Understanding we have good and bad as it pertains to AI, but you have to choose your path. You have to, and at the same time, you have to be mindful of what is out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. All right. What about you, Sebastian?
Well, the main focus is really safety, cybersecurity, especially with AI being incorporated into our society, because AI isn't going nowhere. So businesses have to adapt to the change. And with that being said, you have to be able to address deepfakes. You have to be able to isolate yourself from ransomware. You have to be able to pivot and have continuity in place for backup systems. Because in business, if anyone wants to do business in this era, it has to be with AI. It has to be through a fintech solution. It has to be with e-commerce, because the old traditional ways are now being faded away. So businesses, especially in the Caribbean, to adapt, and safety is the number one key to implement into any business infrastructure.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Malvin, Gamal, you can jump in. But let's take this call before we get to you guys. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Morning, Dwight. Good morning. Yes, it's very interesting conversation here. And first and foremost, let me just say that one who is about to really get immersed in the cybersecurity world, and I think this conversation is one that really appeals to me. So my first two questions is, I know that you guys created an alliance. Do you have a contact where I can reach out to you guys after this program to have a conversation? Because obviously what I'm engrossed in is going to fall very much in line with a lot of the areas that you guys are discussing this morning. Is there a contact, and is the name an official designation for the grouping that you guys have created?
Yeah, so you can reach out to me at 357-9949. That's the easiest thing to communicate at this point. And then, yes, Caribbean Safety and Security Alliance. That's the name of the group. And we can discuss more offline. Your next question?
That's awesome. Yeah, because my line is, just to give you an idea, the technological side is in the CCTV arena, but also doing some cybersecurity training right now as we speak. And I believe that what I am doing and the aspect that I'm pursuing falls right in line with what this alliance is all about. I'd like to on how to either become a part of the organization as well as develop what it is that I am pursuing right now. So that's 357-9949. I'll probably give you a call after.
Okay. All right. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it. All right. Got a texter here asking, any tips for parents on safety measures for those getting ready to leave their kids in universities abroad? Any recommendations on how we can stay connected and monitor or provide support for them from across the waters?
What I would recommend certainly is to, as much as you can, not to be overly intrusive as a parent. You have to stay involved, even more so now. And, you have to stay involved, make those calls as often as you can, and just communicate, open up those lines. If you weren't communicating prior to sending your child off and there wasn't a good communication relationship, then you're going to have a challenge now, because distance doesn't help. But I think one of the best ways, and this is me as a parent who would have had kids go off, is to communicate. Speak with them as often as you can and have a conversation. Don't rely on technology in the sense that it's doing the monitoring for you, or what you call monitoring. Have that conversation, talk with them, learn about who their friends are, find out how the day was, and keep those open lines of communication. The next point is to definitely stay familiar with what's going on in that neighborhood. If they're going to a particular community, try and find the newspapers, there are Facebook groups that are out there, so you get a feel and a sense for what's happening in that community that the university is in. So you're not all to hear from them as to what's happening. You get some heads up insight into what's going on into that community. So newspapers, radio stations, local television stations, if there are groups on social media that you can join, so you can stay abreast of what's happening in that community. And so those are my 2 points. If the guys have any other suggestions or recommendations?
Yeah, heard somebody else? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, again, you can reach out to Gamal for this additional information, but this year we will definitely be. We've been doing it for about 2 years now, but this year we'll definitely be pushing a little harder. We have a training program, Refuse to Be a Victim, for teens and college students, and anybody who's going to be sending off a teen over to anywhere, any country, doesn't matter whether it's the US or the UK. We have a very specific training that we're going to be putting on, we can be hosting on a regular basis, where we invite both the students and the parents to sit the training. The training talks on everything that Gabal mentioned about communication. It talks about active violence situation that may go down in a college. It talks about how you can regularly keep in touch. We also introduce a number of different apps and software that both the parents and the students can share. So that's definitely something I would definitely recommend for any parent, any family that's going to be sending off a student out of country to college or university this year. So definitely reach out to Gamal. You can touch base with him and get more information on those courses and where you can find information on those.
Okay, that's great. Yeah, I was going to ask you about with in the U.S. especially with active shooters on campuses. What advice would you give to students and to parents about situations like that? What do they need to keep in mind?
Yeah, definitely. Especially in the U.S., that's something that as much as the U.S. like to talk about everybody else, and in the U.S. right now, and I'm not trying to be a fearmonger, but there is active shooter incidents happening almost on a daily basis, especially in colleges, right? College and schools and in those neighborhoods. So yeah, the training that we offer is based on that. It's based on what students and what you should do in a school when this happens, when you get a lockdown situation, or if you're in a class and something just happens. What do you do? A lot of people think they know, or they'll go online and maybe find a YouTube video, right? And they think, okay, fine, this is the YouTube video say do. Okay, that's what I'm going to do. But when a situation happens, all that stuff you watch on YouTube just go out your head. It's very different than sitting in a classroom and getting that hands-on scenario-based training. And so that's what we do. We really try to give you that hands-on scenario-based training where we actually put you through it and then discuss it. So our training is really more in-depth on what you should do: active shooter, active violence, and all that. So yeah, we definitely encourage and invite everyone to really take a part of it. And like Gamal said, you can reach out to him for additional information on all of this.
Okay, and give us the name of the group again. This is the group that you're talking about here that's providing.
That's this will be Paratus Tactical. Okay. It's a part of the National Firearm Association Bahamas, and then we are also part of the alliance.
Okay, great. All right, so the Firearms Association is here. So let's talk about that. Guns in 2026, Gamal, and everybody can jump in.
Right, I know I was waiting for you.
Well, we could have done the whole show on this one. But let's hear from you all, your stance. I know you listen to the show, so there are a lot of people who listen who don't necessarily agree with me, but would love to see more widespread handgun ownership in the country. Let's get your stance on it and what people need to know if they're thinking along those lines.
I'm going to defer to the president, Gordon, who is the president of the Firearms Association. He's going to be able to bring some in-depth perspective on that. So, Mr. Gordon, you have the floor, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So, one of the biggest things that people need to understand when it comes to firearms is response, and I think that's people don't understand that comes with owning a firearm. You don't just. Yeah, everybody wants to have a firearm and have a license and all that good stuff. That's great. But there's a lot of stuff that goes along with that, right? And one of the things we do with our certification training is really train the mind, and then we do everything else. So, yes, people need to understand that a responsible firearm responsible. And this is why we have firearm incidences. Whether it's an accident or just an illegal situation. So people need to be responsible. And responsibility is not just being able to own it and lock it up and know the safety stuff. Responsibility means being able to deal with your anger, deal with your spontaneous self. Don't just because you own a firearm, you have a firearm whether on you in your vehicle or in your house, you just decide to go run and get a firearm just to end an argument. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So it's all about responsibility. It's about responsibility. So persons don't understand, and I think that's the biggest issue when it comes to with law enforcement. They don't just want people just to have these guns and decide they can just go off on people with guns. So I think if we have the proper training, and everybody needs to be trained. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter how long you have been, whether in the military or armed forces or anything like that. It doesn't matter your bank account. A lot of people figure, oh, because you got the money, you can get whatever. No, it doesn't matter. Everybody needs to be trained, and I'm talking properly trained. I'm not talking about just going on the range and being able to hit a target at 10 yards. I'm talking about properly trained. And a lot of the training that we offer our minimum hours of training for example, we're talking about handguns is a 18-hour training, right? Where we go over a whole lot of things, and then you have to pass a test before you actually, become both written and a practical test. So it's about responsibility. So if everybody can show that responsibility properly and get the proper training, then we can kind of move more towards a more liberal firearm ownership.
All right, so this is Gamal. Go on.
Can I add something in that real quick too? And just for the record, right? And I'm going to blow the association's horn. We have the most detailed, most comprehensive training in country for civilians. It isn't just like Mr. Gordon said, going to the range and being able to hit a target. It is dealing with legal, decision, psychological aspects of firearm ownership. And the National Firearms Association of the Bahamas, we have the most comprehensive civilian-based training in the country, and I would say perhaps in the region, because we're not just going out there and saying, oh yes, you're able to hit a target. How are you making those decisions? What is the psychological fallout after you would have made, if you go, God forbid that you hit somebody, you have to take someone's life. What is the psychological fallout? So it's very much about responsibility. It's very much about being able to make the best decision. The fallout from a legal and a psychological perspective on that decision that you made.
Correct. 100%. Like Gamal mentioned, our training, just so people understand, our training is international training. So when you train with us, it's not just something we put together here in country. What we do is all our training is accredited, by the way, and all this is actual certification. So you can actually train here in country, and you can take that certification anywhere in the world and be recognized as certified in that particular firearm, whether it's a pistol, rifle, shotgun. We also have advanced courses. We also, we'll be moving into a lot of law enforcement stuff also going forward. But our civilian side of it is so robust that we have included almost 50% more training you can find in the U.S. So anywhere in the U.S., you can go ahead and get certified there. But certifying with us gives you about 50% more. Because like Gamal said, we deal with the aftermath. We deal with the legality. We deal with all of that. I think in total we have a 12-point training system that you have to complete, you have to pass before you actually get a certification. And there's a dual certification. We have a regional certification that you get, and then we have an international certification. So once you finish, it's a dual certification process, but it's very, very in-depth. And we encourage everybody who really, whether you had your gun for 10 years, people like to say, oh, I had my gun for 10 years and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, okay. So how much training have you done in 10 years, right? Wow. How much education have you got on responsibility training? Like how much training have you got? So our goal is to really educate, Bahamians locally, especially firearm owners. So we encourage everybody to reach out to us and definitely work on getting training. And then it'll really open your eyes as to being a different kind of firearms owner, responsible.
So, Gamal, we got to work on doing a show on this real soon. We have a lot we can talk about there. All right, so I had asked Donovan Paul and Sebastian Curry this already. What keeps you up? What keeps you concerned? What are your safety and security issues, especially in this new year? What are you most concerned about?
For me, Dwight, my what keeps me up is just the intensity, the frequency of change. I think you set up training, you set up standards, you set up expectations on one aspect, and then something else comes. I just think the ongoing change and change is inevitable, But I think the fast pace, for me, it's the fast pace of change and how, we monitor, we look at these things and being able to provide the best solutions, not just for me personally, but also for customers, for clients. When persons ask advice, being able to have the information at hand, that's what keeps me up. But just the fast pace of change. I would use again what occurred in Venezuela and what we have seen happen within the last 72 hours since that incident occurred. Just the appointment of a new VP, the chase of the oil tanker. It shows you how the world is just on this fast pace. And me in the Bahamas can't sit back and say, oh, it doesn't impact us. We are definitely a part of this whole global community. And whether we say something or we don't say anything, we will be impacted by this change. So just the fast pace of change is what keeps me up, so to speak.
Okay. Right. And Malvin?
Yeah, for me, I think one of the biggest issues, and Gamal kind of tipped on it a little bit, is the Bahamas, right? We have a very poor culture of being retroactive. We don't act until things happen. Then we kind of scramble to find, what do we do or how do we avoid it happening again? And there's so much training and stuff that we can do now to avoid a lot of things from happening. So I think that whole retroactive culture that we have locally, I think it hurts us really bad. And that's something that we really need to look at. And just in the industry that we're in now, we've always faced with something Gamal also said, whereas people have this thinking and idea in their heads that, okay, it doesn't happen here, so we don't necessarily need to do this, or we don't need to do that, right? And then bang, something happens, right? And then we try to fix it retroactively. So I think that's one of the biggest things. It's just a crazy culture we have, and I mean, you can watch the news all the time, and you see these things happening, and you say to yourself, "Well, why we ain't had something in place?" Or you know what I mean? Why didn't we do this or do that? It's right. Because we everybody has that really poor mentality. And just to touch on something we mentioned earlier about AI, right? Just so people understand AI and technology as a whole. For years, and this is not just something that's happened. And if you don't know, hopefully you eyes open now. Companies from your phone and other devices that you may even have in your house right now, they're using something for years called machine learning, right? And machine learning is what really led to AI, right? And AI is still also learning. When AI is originally launched, think of it as a child. So the more people use AI, the more sophisticated it becomes, right? And this is what Gamal mentioned, that from one instance is seeing a photo, and then now if you look at AI is doing a whole lot more, because that's how it works. AI is constantly learning, so the more people use it, the more people go online and do stuff and ask it stuff and do this and do that. The more it learns, so the more sophisticated it becomes. So when you can look at an AI video maybe a year or 2 years ago, and you can see little things that can make you see that, okay, that's AI. Now, a lot of things a lot more smoother. Why? Because AI is now learning. It's now learned. So when it may have started as 2-year-old, now you're looking at maybe a 5 or 6-year-old. Then another year, you're looking at a 10, 12-year-old, right? So it's going to continue to learn and be a whole lot more sophisticated in being able to detect what it is. So yeah, we need to jump on training and information and things now so we can get a lot of that stuff mitigated. Yeah.
You got me scared of AI in the adolescent years. Oh man, it's gonna be rough. It's gonna be rough. Okay, all right, so we got only a couple minutes left. I got a lot of people asking about contacts. They want to find out more about firearms training. Oh boy, and more again about the Alliance in general. Just remind folks about how they can get more information, Gamal.
Sure. Like I said, you can reach out to any one of the gentlemen here, and Mr. Donovan Paul. You can reach out to Sebastian Curry. You can reach out to Melvin Gordon. You can reach out to myself. My number is 357-9949. We are all on social media platforms, whether it's LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter. So you can reach out and you can find out more about the Alliance, or if you want to have a particular area of interest from the fintech aspect of it, from the safety aspect of it, like what Mr. Paul offers, and definitely what Mr. Gordon offers as it relates to safety and firearms training. This is why the alliance was formed, because we bring together the security and safety industry. And this is why we came about, because we have shared interests, shared goals, and we hope that we can ensure that the Bahamas is a safer and secure place to live.
Yeah. All right. So we got a minute. For those who are just terrified that they are going to get hacked, that their accounts are going to get wiped out, that there will be some sort of physical attack, or what do you say to people who are finding it difficult to listen to the news, watch the news because of all the horrible things they are hearing? Is the fear rational, or what do you to somebody who might be paralyzed by all of this?
Donovan, you wanna jump in?
That's understandable. I would say the fear is understandable, but the reality is that's why the association was created, to collectively address it and to bring awareness to it. But yeah, we have to deal with it collectively, not as individuals.
Okay.
Definitely. I think that when you look at the fears, we often, and we've spoken this a few times already. We put our heads in the sand and hope that it'll go away. So you need to learn more about what are the threats, what are the trends out there as it relates to safety and security. Learn more about it. So the more information that you have, it wouldn't be so much of a surprise. Take advantage of the training courses that all of us offer across our various areas of specialty, and learn. So you need to be informed, and that's how you're going to be, empowered to manage the different risks, the threats that are going to be coming at you. And it's inevitable. These threats, these situations are inherent based on whether you're doing from a physical security component, whether you're in the cyberspace, whether it's a safety component. Last year we looked at the fire, the situation with fire safety, and Donovan was very much in the lead with that, with the various products and services that he has. But you have to appreciate and understand what are the threats, what are the risks out there, and who can I reach out to, or what can I do to empower myself to survive these various encounters.
Right. Wow. Okay. Great advice there. Thank you all so much. It's good to know that there is a group there looking out for our safety and security. Thank you all for being here this morning. Donovan Paul, Sebastian Curry, Melvin Gordon, and of course Kamal Nuri, and the new alliance, the Caribbean Safety and Security Alliance. Thank you. We're going to put out all your information on our social media as well. And looking forward to great conversations throughout the year on our monthly Safe and Sound series here on Morning Blend Business. Thank you again.
Thank you as well. Thank you, Dwight.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
All right, we're going to be back after this break. This is Morning Blend Business. We're going to wrap things up in just a bit. Stay with us here on Guardian Radio 96.9.
For retirement can be overwhelming, but with CFAL, it doesn't have to be. We offer tailor-made individual, group, and pension solutions that take the guesswork out of retirement planning. Whether it's for you or your company, don't leave your future to chance and let the trusted hands of CFAL's experts guide you toward peace of mind and financial stability. Low upfront costs and affordable monthly payments make it easy for you to build wealth so you can live well. Visit us at cfal.com to start on your path toward financial freedom. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
Step inside the John Baptiste Jazz Club at Baha Mar, where the rhythm of the islands of the Bahamas meets the soul of New Orleans. Every night, the lights dim, the music swells, and the air fills with that unmistakable energy, the kind that makes you close your eyes and just feel. Savor signature cocktails, curated small plates, and live performances from world-class musicians, all in an intimate, artfully designed space where every seat has a story. Whether it's a romantic night out or a spontaneous evening with friends, this is where you want to be. The John Baptiste Jazz Club, only at Baha Mar. Reserve your table now at bahamar.com/jazz club or through the Baha Mar app, because every evening plays its own tune.
Struggling to find your financial rhythm? Make that move to Fidelity and let us help you orchestrate your financial goals into perfect harmony with free financial coaching sessions. Make that move today. Call 356-77.
We're good for you.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas.
It is time for your morning business report brought to you by CFAL. The Save Exuma Alliance saying that despite concerns over a recent increase in fees for boaters in the Bahamas, businesses in the Keys, businesses booming with operators reporting full occupancies. The statement from SEA saying that despite the concerns about the stopover visitor and yachting numbers elsewhere, operators of resorts, attractions, and excursions in the central Exuma Keys reported near record or full occupancy, saying demand for the exciting and sustainable product has never been greater. According to the group, Staniel Key Yacht Club and Embrace Resort had full occupancies over Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's Day. Despite worries that increased boating fees would leave marinas empty, SEA said that the volume of vessels in the Exuma Keys was so large that boats were seen anchored in areas not typically used. You can read more about that in today's Guardian Business section. Meanwhile, President of the Bahamas Fly Fishing Industry Association, Prescott Smith, says that he supports the controversial increase in cruise permits for boaters. Smith, speaking during a press conference yesterday, saying that they showed the government of the Bahamas why the Association of Bahamas Marinas was fighting them, that a lot of the big yachts that some of the boaters come to take part in commercial fishing. Smith was accompanied by association lawyer Code Smith. Last July, the government introduced a new fee structure on boats, which is now $500 for vessels under 50 feet, $1,000 for vessels between 50 and 100 feet, $3,000 for vessels over 100 feet, with each permit valid for up to 12 months. A separate fee structure exists for the new frequent digital cruising card, which is $2,000 for pleasure craft and is valid for 2 years. The increased fees drove yacht brokers and boat owners to other countries, supposedly, with friendlier fee structures. Marina owners are blaming the increase for empty marinas and a 40% slump in boating traffic this year compared to 2024. But again, apparently a different story in Exuma. You can read all about everything in today's Guardian Business section. Overseas, Facebook parent Meta has reached nuclear power deals with 3 companies as it continues to look for electricity sources for its artificial intelligence data centers. Meta struck agreements with TerraPower, Oklo, and Vistra for nuclear power for its Prometheus AI data center that is being built in New Albany, Ohio. Meta announcing Prometheus, which will be a 1 gigawatt cluster spanning across multiple data center buildings in July. It's anticipated to come online this year. Financial terms of the deals with TerraPower, Oklo, and Vistra were not disclosed. The Mark Zuckerberg-led Meta saying in a statement today that the 3 deals will support up to 6.6 gigawatts of new and existing clean energy for 2035. In your Market Watch, recapping trading on the BISX from Thursday, your market movers, Bank of the Bahamas moving 50,000 shares up 4 cents to $6.10. Finco moving 1,500, up 1 cent to $16.20. Consolidated Water up 14 cents to $7.10. Emira Incorporated up 3 cents to $11.92. The Basic All Share Index closing at 3,131. That's your Market Watch, and that is your morning business report brought to you by CFAL, growing wealth for future generations. And that is going to do it for us today. Farrell Goff, thank you so much for being here today. I'll see you again in a few weeks. And thank you all for listening today and for all week long. We appreciate you. And have a wonderful, safe weekend. Monday is a holiday majority rule day. Have a wonderful and safe majority rule day as well. Think about what that day means to the entire Bahamas. And remember that next week when you need to go to register to vote or make sure that you are registered in the right place. Keep that in mind. Everybody, I'll be back on Tuesday with more Morning Blend and Morning Blend Business here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan. Stay tuned for On the Clock with Aaron Green next.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas.